Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Trubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
President Cyril Ramaphosa announces a new cabinet in this new government of national unity. And let me tell you, we did not expect this. I am going to give you the rundown of this new cabinet and my honest opinion of the new ministers heading these portfolios. Hello, my name is Reneilwe Morema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has unveiled a new coalition government after his ruling party, the African National Congress, known as the ANC, has lost its parliamentary majority in May 2024 general elections. He said the government of national unity is unprecedented in the history of our democracy. The ANC will have 20 out of 32 cabinet posts, while the pro-market Democratic Alliance will hold 6, and 6 other portfolios will be shared amongst other smaller political parties.
32 ministers, 43 deputy ministers. It's not the largest cabinet because the cabinet is only made up of ministers who report to the president, but it's the largest collection of ministers and deputy ministers that we've ever seen in this country. The Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa government had 33 ministers. We have 32 ministers now, but we have 43 deputy ministers. So collectively, an executive that is made up of 75 members, ministers and deputy ministers. What did Cyril Ramaphosa say when he took office? That he wanted to trim the number of executive positions. He couldn't do that because now he has so many other appetites to feed from GNU partners. What did the Democratic Alliance say when Cyril Ramaphosa took over from Jacob Zuma in 2018? They called it a patronage cabinet, costing South Africa millions of rands. The Democratic Alliance is now a member of the largest collection of ministers and deputy ministers that we've ever seen in this country.
These appointments followed weeks of tense negotiations that threatened to dissolve the government of national unity, as the DA threatened to walk away if Ramaphosa did not fulfill his end of the bargain. An outraged DA threatened to walk out of the government of national unity after Ramaphosa altered the terms of the agreement and withdrew an earlier offer to give it the key trade and industry portfolio. It is understood that Ramaphosa withdrew his offer after a meeting of the ANC's top brass, at which he was convinced that offering the strategically important ministry to the DA would result in a pushback of levers of economic redress. The DA leaders have told a local media outlet called Business Day on the 27th of June that the DA has bent over backwards to accommodate the ANC's demands by backing down from the 8 cabinet positions it initially agreed with the ANC, and it helped the ANC to get an extra seat in KwaZulu-Natal when the IFP tried to lowball them. In the new cabinet, the ANC will keep key ministries such as defense, finance, and also foreign affairs, where it had been vocal in its support to the Palestinians and intensely critical of the Israeli actions in Gaza. The DA portfolios include home affairs as well as public works, which has been at the center of a series of corruption scandals. Party leader Johnston Hazen will lead the agriculture ministry. In a televised speech, Ramaphosa said the incoming government will prioritize rapid, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. The ANC welcomed the move as an important step forward and a testament to the resilience of our democracy. Meanwhile, the DA said it was proud to rise to the challenge for the first time at the seat of national government. It also pledged good governance, zero tolerance for corruption, and pragmatic policy making. Despite a coalition cabinet deal, stark political disagreement remained between the DA and ANC. Perhaps the biggest and most contentious issues are DA opposition to the ANC's national health care policy. For those that don't know what the national health care policy is, it's a centralized national insurance fund from which government will buy healthcare services from healthcare providers in both public and private sectors. The DA is also opposed to the Black Economic Empowerment Program. I think the DA has an issue with Black people who are already marginalized to have access to healthcare facilities in the private sector. They feel this national health insurance bill will extort high taxes from all South Africans and will further fuel ANC's corruption and mismanagement that is the real cause of limiting access to quality public health care for millions of poor citizens. In my previous segments, I spoke about how the ANC and other smaller parties are not going to enjoy governing in this government of national unity because the ANC and DA principles and policies are completely different. These differences are going to be detrimental to the government of national unity, causing a divide. It is going to be difficult because the ANC will forever negotiate and bargain on every little decision it has to make. And as we have seen with appointing this new cabinet, the negotiations are tense and strenuous, with people threatening to walk away from this government of national unity. Now, let me give my opinion about this new cabinet. I am not doing all 32 cabinets, just the ones I feel like they had a major makeover unnecessarily so, and the ones that stood out for me the most. First of all, we have more deputies than actual ministers. A cabinet of more than 70 ministers and their deputies. How are the taxpayers going to pay for this big, extravagant cabinet? Is Ramaphosa trying to make up for the ones that lost their ministry posts within the ANC? Another thing I feel like is holding Africa back is appointing ministers that are not qualified to head their designated portfolios. For example, it's Reneilwe Morema. She's a former Minister of Education. She is now the Minister of Defense. She can't even defend the fact that she ruined the education system of South Africa. She is the reason majority of the learners can't get a university entrance because she said the pass rate for mathematics and science is 30%. I am happy that we have young, fresh ministers in this cabinet that are just waiting to burst with fresh ideas that will transform our economy. Like the new Minister of Education, Reneilwe Morema of the DA, I am excited to see the changes she is going to make to the already damaged Ministry of Education thanks to Reneilwe Morema, who is now the Minister of Defense. We also have Solly Malatsi of the DA. He is the new Minister of Digital Technologies and Communication. I am excited for that one as well. Leon Schreiber of the DA is Minister of Home Affairs. Maybe we will have a new and improved Home Affairs, new and improved technology of getting services from the Home Affairs, instead of queuing long queues only to be told that the systems are offline or the systems have crashed. You know how it goes at the Home Affairs when we have to get our IDs and our passports and all those personal documents. It is mission impossible. And then we have Gayton McKenzie of the Patriotic Alliance. He is the Minister of Arts and Culture and Sports. Gayton has been crying for a minister position. He initially said he wanted to become the Minister of Home Affairs so he can start mass deportation of illegal immigrants. But the DA took that ministry, which is a jab because of their bitter past and their rivalry in the Western Cape. I never read the PA's policies in regards to the creative industry, but he has a lot to prove. That ministry has been failed by the ANC's corruption.
Spinning and stands is not a crime, and you're going to see. I'm so excited because I promised that spinning shall be recognized. And I'm going to keep that promise. I'm going to make spinning one of the biggest sports in this country. We're going to stop gangsterism with sports. It is just a handful of musicians that benefit there. Watch our artists. TV must tell our stories. Temple Boys must be happy tonight. I'm going to be one of the best ministers.
Next up, we have 70-year-old Gwede Mantashe of the ANC. He is the Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources. He is the person that lied in an effort to discredit South Africa's energy transition. You know, that transition from coal to renewable energy is unlikely to happen, as this concept is foreign to him. He has no knowledge on renewable energy sources. So I guess South Africans here is to more load sheddings. Next up, we have Minister of Correctional Services, which is Pieter Groenewald of the Freedom Front Plus. We are about to be hit with a wave of nostalgia. Prisoners and white people have a bitter history. Do you remember how our black people were tortured in prison during apartheid? And then Cyril went on and put an Afrikaner nationalist as a Minister of Correctional Services. Hey, I don't know how that ministry will work out, but I wish him the best. Next up, we have 67-year-old Bloated of the ANC. He is the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation. Guys, I can't stress enough about placing young, fresh minds into positions like this. I mean, Blade has never had any innovative thought in his life, never mind knowing how to buy data online. How is he supposed to bring innovative ideas that will improve our economy and our lives? In January, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse called for the resignation of Nzimande after he was accused of being implicated in the National Student Financial Aid Schemes, also known as the NSFAS corruption scandal. The organization released recordings that sought to prove that Nzimande was involved in the irregularities, supporting 4 service providers that had failed to pay students on time. Mantashe and Nzimande have caused damage to their respective departments and would be better left out of cabinet. That's just my opinion. Last but not least, we have DA leader Johnston Hazen as the Minister of Agriculture. Who knows? Maybe the food production in this country will actually improve, and the food prices would drop a bit because we would be eating homegrown food. More food production, less food imports. And I hope this ministry will aid in job creation for our citizens and empower local farmers as well. And our land needs to be used appropriately and efficiently. So if he's able to manage all of that in his ministry, I wish him all the best. By the looks of things, ANC just reshuffled their old ministers around. Their cabinet is not shocking, nor is it innovative. It is just a bunch of corrupt old men and women who refuse to let go of power. Just like the party itself, it refuses to let go of power. It has embedded itself in power, in a power struggle, that they are willing to get into this grand coalition with parties that aren't aligned with their principles and policies just to stay in power. These old people at ANC are a reflection of what the party is about. They are the reflection of the ANC's persona. What do you think about this new cabinet under the government of national unity? Do you think that Ramaphosa's decision came from a good point of view, came from improving and transforming the economy of South Africa? Or do you think that he just gave people cabinet positions just to shut them up or just to avoid conflict within this government of national unity? Because God knows it was really hard during the negotiations. What do you think about your new ministers, and what do you think about the ANC reshuffling their old ministers so that they don't hurt anybody's feelings when they choose ministers, when they choose cabinets to give to people? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora.